We back on challenge 4 now of this monstrosity here. Challenge 4. We spent a long time explaining number 3, so that's all its own thing now. And with this, yeah, I've done a bit of testing here, most of which is useless, especially this bit. But let's first explain what we're actually trying to do here. If you can see from here, basically it's the same as the last one. We get given this and turn it into this. So we're just going backwards. But this is a little harder because obviously the computer can recognize what these are and not these, basically. That's the gist of it. So yeah, we kind of need to do some extra work for this one, but it's the same idea. So what I was doing at the start, my first idea, I was just going to split it all up. So here we split it by I, for example, that's the in. Splitting it by space for reasons, and splitting it by a bunch of stuff, and yeah, I'd written this out. It takes like the third value, which is the name of the macro, and drops the first 6, which is like the def and stuff, and it probably would have been possible to do it like this. I'm almost certain it would have been, but it would have been very fiddly, especially when I discover things like this don't work because the macro doesn't necessarily have to be one character long. The same variables don't have to be one character long. Basically, you don't actually know how long stuff is going to be, so it'd be a lot more restrictive. And in order to make it not restrictive, that's going to be difficult. So I'm like, hey, let's ask about this. So I asked, and basically we actually have to pay attention to this. You may have noticed it's sitting in the background the whole time. It has been sitting in the background the whole time. This is what it's for. So I cry because I didn't really want to do this, but I guess we'll give it a go. So yeah, I was fiddling about with it a bit, doing things like this, which is useless. And then what I've got so far is I've actually written things for parse macro and parse var. If you notice, pretty much exactly the same thing. And if we pop over to here, you can see the little bit of testing that I did on those. So parse, if you parse var, you give it like x2. It needs a space at the end for reasons. It doesn't anymore, as you can see, but it did here. I should be using this. This is the current one. So yeah, you give it like x2. It'll make, and this is an actual Lambda, and as you can see, it doesn't matter how many characters it is, we still get this. If you tried to parse it with something that is not a number, you know, we get a wrong, but that's fine. So that works fine. And then if I scroll up through all of these thick errors, we have macro, which again, this actually needs a space at the end. That's reasonable because it needs to know where the macro name ends. Whereas with the number, it just ends whenever the number ends, right? So that's fine. But yeah, so with this, it takes any name basically, and just puts that in here. So this is the macro name. And then I believe, yeah, there we go. It actually turns it into a macro. So that's, if you recall back to the monstrosity from here, we had lam app, lam macro, and lam var, and lam abs. 4 things, we've done 2 of them. Lam app should not be too hard, to be honest, because that is just 2 things stuck together. Lam abs probably is going to be the hard one for this, whereas lam app was the hard one for the last time. But we'll get to that. And then the really hard bit is putting it all together. So yeah, that's kind of the aim here. And we'll see what happens. For now, now that I've kind of shown all this, I'm just going to yeet all of that. Bye-bye. We do need, however, to put this here. And this, because this is the function that we're actually trying to make, right? And its type, opposed to what I had written, is meant to be I believe this. Is this what it is? Yeah, there we go. and at the moment, let's just have it return nothing. So, yeah, that's how it is at the moment. And then yeah, we've got a bit of work to do with that on that front, you know. So I guess we'll see what's going on with it. In the what am I trying to say? The course to come? Is that a phrase? Not really sure. Anyway, that's the plan, right? So we've done macro and var. Now let's do app and abs. Let's do app first because that's probably the easier one, and we'll work our way up from there, right? So if we parse app, parser lam expression. Alright, so then what we can do is we can take a quick look at this, right? So we can say, okay, let's find an example of an app, right? Something like this, right? It's just going to be something space something, right? Something space something. However, you have to be careful here because there also could be brackets, right? And if you remember lam app, there's brackets all over the place. Obviously, this is not the case with var and macro. I know this because of my lookup table. If you've got so if you look here, if you have a lam var, there's never brackets around it. So like here, we've got a lam var and there's brackets, but the brackets around the lam abs, right? So it's fine, right? The brackets are never around lam var. They're never around lam macro either. They are around lam abs. And they are also around lam app. I believe, yeah, here we go. This is them being around lam app. But you never get them around the other two. So with lam abs and lam app, we also have to deal with bracket possibilities, which is going to be fun and interesting. So let's figure out how this is going to work, right? First of all, I suppose what we should do, because lam app is going to contain further expressions, as is lam abs. That's why you've got the brackets, right? We need to make sure we've got the ordering correct, right? So first of all, we need to make sure that the stuff in the brackets happens first. So I do wonder if this should be in lam abs, lam app, or if this should just be in. Actually, yeah, that might be a good point. I might just shove that in lam expression. Make sure that just the bracket one's first. Or I suppose if you've got down to an expression, you're just evaluating the whole thing anyway, though, aren't you? Yeah, that's kind of right, huh? That's kind of right. I mean, if I take to the bracketed examples here it's in a lam app. I'm actually looking. Yeah, here this is in a lam app, right? So you've had lam app with these two, and so you would need to make sure that this one happens, right? I guess. Yeah, this is going to need to be in the lam app thing. And then I'm thinking with these other examples that we had up here, this is a lam app as well, isn't it? Right? Yeah. Not a bad point. And then what about this one up here? This one, that's another lam app, isn't it? So do you actually have lam abs in brackets? So what about like this here, right? This is this applied to this. It's still lam app, isn't it? It's not actually lam abs. Yeah. No, I think that might be a good point. I think you only need to worry about lam abs when it's in brackets. So that is fun. I do believe if I look at these ones where we had lam abs. Oh yeah, I guess so, because oh yeah, of course, because yeah. So we're having lam abs in brackets, but it is still a lam ab, right? Lam abs itself is just here, right? And there's no brackets here, right? So actually, yeah, lam ab. You know what then? Let's do lam abs first, because this might be the easier one. After what I said, it probably wouldn't be. I just wanted to do the easy stuff first. Let's get something working, you know? So if you take the format of a lam abs, you first have a slash, right? So let's get a char slash, wrong slash. There we go. Char slash. Yes, this. Probably going to need the escape character in the argument, so that's fine. I guess what I can do to check that is something like this. Just go in here and say, okay, well, I guess I could just do that, couldn't I? Yeah. Oh no, but that prints it twice. No, I think that's still correct. So if you do that, yeah. If you do that, yeah, I think the point is you're going to need to have it twice. So sure, we'll have it twice. Why not? I realise you weren't looking earlier, but it's fine, I didn't do much. We've got the chart and we've got it twice. I already did that. There we go. So after the char, we have an x1, right? This is basically the same as lamvar, but we can't actually use the lamvar. We can't use this to do it, because this will actually return a lamvar, which is not what we want. So what we do instead is we basically just copy paste the code, right? Quite literally, actually. So I'm going to do this, but then we don't want to return the lamvar, right? We just want the code. So now we have the name of the abstraction, right? So that's fine. I suppose actually you could just do this with a string, couldn't you? Right? Should we try that? String, and then we can have like this, something like this, maybe. One thing I do actually want to test now I mention it. I want to test if it counts as a char. So let's just try this. So it should just return true, right? Providing that it doesn't error, right? And because this is unfinished, I'm going to need to comment it out to test it. Okay, sure. Apparently we need that there as well. It is correct. Okay. So now I can just do test true. Yeah. True. Yeah. So if you come and have a look at this, this is true, this is true, this is not. And if I do something like this, error, 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 right? Well, if you have 3 of these, yeah, doesn't work. But with 2 of them, that counts as a char, right? funny way of testing it, probably, but it works, doesn't it? So yeah, we can go back over here and just remove this now. And more importantly, we can uncomment all of this. So there we go. Beautiful. But we now have string anyway. We have string anyway. We have the name of the variable. Now we want another string, because this is going to be space, arrow, space, right? In fact, also x. Oh no, it might not be an x. This is now going to be an expression. Right? This is going to be an expression. Which is dandy. Right? So I guess we need parse expression to be a thing, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do in that case, let's just make a dummy one for now. Parse expression, which is a parser, returns Lambda expression, and for now it can just return Lambda1, right? Sure, why not? But then here, what we do is we say expression comes from parse expression, right? And then I believe that's done. So then we just return lam abs name expression. Right? We don't have to worry about the brackets, and then this is just going to be this. So now let's test it. See what that says over here. Reload. Any errors? Yep. Yep. Of course. Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna shove a return on the front of that, and now it should be all good. No. Apparently not. Not sure why. Oh wait, because it's not bracketed. We're gonna put brackets around it as well. There we go. That works fine. Parse abs. Now let's just give it something like this. And I'm going to put x1 just so it looks like it's working. Yep, no, that's fair. Because what I need to do... I need to do that. There we go. Get lam abs3, lam var. And there's an x1 left at the end, apparently. Ah, yeah, because parse expression doesn't actually take anything yet. That's correct then. That's correct. Alright, so now let's pop back over here. We've got that working fine. Lastly, we're going to need to do lamap. And what I'm also going to do, now that we've got that, because I didn't do it earlier, is put on some music. There we go. On the other hand, I actually think that's copyrighted. Let's not have that one. Let's not have that one. Forget that happened. Let's put on this one. I used that one before, and I remember that one was copyrighted. It's one of the only ones on the playlist that's copyrighted, so let's just pick anything other than that, right? We'll pick Mr. Beast. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Beast. Does this seem loud? It is loud. That explains it. There we go. Alright. We've got our dummy parse expression. parsap. Alright. Now we have to worry about brackets. Apparently. I'm thinking we maybe should have a bunch of cases here. You can have brackets on both, brackets on one, brackets on the other, and brackets on neither. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Because then we can use this little funky thing to pick which one we want. Right? So that can be what we'll do, parsap, you'll call it parsap 1. This is where there's brackets on both halves of the application, right? In which case, we'll have first char bracket, right? Then we do, actually, yeah, this is going to be pretty easy if we do it like this. I think it will be, actually, which is exceptional. Because then we have expression 1, comes from this. See, this is the thing, it's the same as the cases from the other one. It's going to look pretty horrible, but I think actually, programming-wise, it's going to be pretty easy. So now we've got expression 2, which is going to be parse expression again. No, we first need another one of these. Right, parse expression 2. No, we want this one. I did this already, oops. Then we get that. And then we return what's it? Lam app, which just how does lam app work? It just takes 2 expressions, right? Yeah. Come on, X key, work. Ooh. Expression 1, expression 2. Shove that in all in brackets. Right? Now what I do is we need 4 of these. There we go, and I didn't put the space in there. I'm gonna have that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4th one has no brackets. Well, this one can have brackets, or we'll have, oh dear. This one can have brackets on the 2nd, but not on the 1st. And then this one can have brackets on the 1st and not the 2nd. Right? Probably a very inefficient way of doing that. But then what I can have here is parse app right, here we go, and then we just have parsap 1, parsap 2, parsap 3, and parsap 4, right? Expression comes from those. Return expression. Right? Now I think that's gonna work. So let's try it. I mean, that's a good sign. An excellent sign. parse app. I don't know why I keep putting that in brackets. You don't actually need to. So let's just have x1, x2, right? Now remember, we've just got the dummy ones in at the moment, so it is just going to say Lambda for them both, but that constructed the right thing. Now let's put one of them in brackets. Still got it. Still got it. Now let's do something silly. Yeah, okay, still got it. That shouldn't have worked. I mean, it should, because we haven't added that yet. Now what if I do something like that? Yeah, that should not have worked. Why did that one work? Eek. I think it's because it's saying the one at the end is empty. And because this doesn't have any error checking in, it's just returning this is fine. I think the function's fine. I think it's only not working because of the dummy value. I do honestly think so. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking anyway. You know what it doesn't have though? It doesn't. I didn't add the spaces in. It's meant to check the spaces. So let's go back over here. Let's turn this one into a string just to make it a bit easier. And then we can have something like this. Right, and the closed brackets. The same here. You know what? I might actually make all of these strings, to be honest, just for the sake of it. It doesn't really make any difference, but just for consistency, you know. So then we can have this. We can have this. Where else have we got them? Oh, up here. No. Wait. Isn't there 4? Oh yeah, 4 doesn't have any, of course. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah. Ah, yeah, but what 4 does need, however, is that. Okay. Let's reload that. That works. Ah, see, now it's not working with things like that, which is correct, mind you. It should not be working with things like that. What if we give it things like that? It doesn't work. And things like this. Ah, yeah, see, that one should have worked. So what's going wrong, eh? You have a bracket, then you have a parse expression, then you have bracket thingy bracket, parse expression, bracket. Yeah, what's the problem? Ah, because parse expression doesn't even remove this yet. That's why parse expression doesn't remove the. Okay, that's fine. We need to write parse expression. Then we can test the rest. Alright. I've got jelly babies, by the way, and they taste nice. So then, parse expression. Now an expression. Wait. Do you think we can do this? I honestly would not be surprised if we can just do this. Parse var or parse abs or parse app or I had not thought of that, but I think that might actually work. Hold on, was that actually incredibly easy? Tell me that works. That's looking nice. This one shouldn't be working? That one's crashing. Okay. Why is that one crashing? It's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Ah. Because none of the... Oh yeah, you didn't even see. I did that. This one worked as intended. This one did not. So, yeah. Because it's not working on any of these, right? So it just crashes? I don't think it should be doing that at all, to be honest. Not sure why it is. Just having a look at some notes. What if I just add on the end here? What if I just add something stupidly random like that? Is that even going to compile? I kind of doubt it. Yeah, no, of course it doesn't. What if I make this a maybe? And then I add just on the front of everything. Actually, this is going to need to be more complicated than this. Let me just hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. So let's instead do we can have that come from that. Then here we get return just expression. Right? Then just do the same thing, right? Is that the right indent? I think that's the right indent. Actually, you know what? I'll fix the spacing afterwards. Right, so we need this here, and this. Okay, let's try this, see what that does. Is it going to compile? That one might compile, it doesn't though. Ah, you are correct, it's complaining because it's not in a do block. So let's put them all in do blocks. I think the indentation is going to get silly, but that's okay. And then... okay, let's try that. No. One more argument to maybe. You know what I think? I think that doesn't quite work. I think it doesn't quite work. Unless maybe you can do something like that. Did you get it? Maybe. Yeah. Couldn't match expected type lambda expression with actual type maybe lambda expression. Oh! You know what we do need? I don't know if this is related to the error, but we didn't do that. It's not related to the error, fantastic. So where's this? 354 you said? this here. Yeah, I think all these are going to need to be maybes as well. That's fair. So I'm going to try doing this in all of them. See what it does. I honestly don't think this is going to work, but it would be really nice if it did, right? It would be really nice. It's going to be a bit of a waste of time if it doesn't, huh? That is certainly true. But we can cope with a bit of a waste of time, that's fine. The whole thing's a bit of a waste of time, in my opinion. There we go. Is that all of them? No. That's not correct. There we go. Okay. Let's see what that does. Oh, doesn't like that. Epic. Couldn't match maybe Lambda expression with Lambda. Ah, it's duplicating up all the maybes. Yeah. Basically, that doesn't work. I figured it wouldn't, but it would have been nice. Let's put this back to what it was earlier, before I tried to mess around with the maybes, because honestly, that's kind of where everything started going wrong, really, isn't it? So let's go back to this. This one works, but it sometimes just
make pasta without cutting to an
the problem.
Free trial of YouTube Premium and
yes.
uninterrupted.
So if I just put back what we had with this, with things like this, it works fine, right? But if you do something silly like that, it just goes on forever, right? It cannot figure out what to do with it, and I'm not really sure where it's getting stuck, to be honest. Mostly just because I don't know what it's doing. So, yeah, that's... oops. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at something. I'm sad now. I just wasted a claim on the Getcha rolls, which is sad. But yeah, so this just carries on going forever, basically. Because it tries to pass this. I'm guessing it's trying to pass this as an expression. And then when it gets to here, and that doesn't pass as an expression, it just cries, you know. Which is fair, to be honest, because that doesn't pass as anything, you know. What I can test is if it will actually accept the ones that it's meant to accept. So let's see. So if I just do pass expression, something like that. No. Why not? Huh? We got Lambda 1 with this left. Can we carry on going? Oh. Yeah, no, I get it. Because it checks if this is a Lambda 1. It's like, yeah, it is. And then it finishes. And it's not though, is it? Maybe we should put a priority thing. So what if you put parse app first? I wonder if this will actually change anything. And then we'll have parse apps after that. Let's see if this will change anything. It gets stuck if you do that. Okay. It's not killing itself. That's not great. You can come look, I just kind of put that in and it's... you silly thing. Am I gonna need to stop? You've crashed Chrome. Yeah, I'm just gonna need to stop it. There it goes. Okay, give me a sec. My computer is now all of a sudden struggling because that just ate up its entire memory, apparently. Which is great. That's just great. We're getting ads as well. Come on. Can't even skip it because my computer won't load. There we go. Managed to get it. Now, can we get CMD back up? There we go. Alright. Is it gonna work? There we go. Okay. So let's go back to this. Oh, something's going on. Okay, we're good. We're good. Whew. Right, so with that example we just gave it, which, if you cannot remember, was this. No, it wasn't. Great. It was this. So it should try that as a parse app, right? So you go here, it tries. Maybe I should swap these around so it does parse app 4 first. Oh no, these are in the correct order already. So it checks to see if there's buckets, right? It doesn't work with that one because there's not a bucket at the start. So it moves on to this one. There's still not a bucket at the start. So we do here. And it's running expression 1 on this now. Oh, do you think it then just does parse app on this and like doesn't work? Do you think that's what it's doing? I bet that's what it's doing. So then instead of getting infinitely stuck on doing parse var on nothing, it's getting infinitely stuck on doing parse apps on this, so it's no better really than what it was before. Funnily enough, swapping them around made it have the opposite effect, so that's great. Let's see if I can have a look at these notes again, and I'll see if I can figure out a better way of doing it, you know. Took a long look at all of this. It did take actually quite a while. I got pretty fed up with it. If you see, we have here it's parse macros now, which I also did in the time because this was quite easy. I'll get to that. If you remember, we were trying to write this here parse expression, and we had a bunch of stuff in here. So I've now split this up into parse expression and parse app. And then we've got parse expression. This is like parse expression 2, basically, which has all the rest of it in, right? Parse macros at the end, because reasons. Then we've got the brackets here, the abstraction here, and the variable here. And then what we do is we say here, is parse app, parse expression. So you can either have an application or you can go down a tier and have this. So that would be exactly the same as it was before. But then in parse app, we say expression 1 has to be one of these. And expression 2 can go and be one of these again. Now, the problem with this, obviously, is that, oh, but what if the first one is an application as well? Right, so let's just nip over here, and I believe I tested this. If I didn't, we're going to have some problems, but let's just shove parse expression in here. We really need parse first, don't we? And then we can give it something like x1, x2, and then we could have x3, x4, for example. So we've got an application of this with this, right? Simple. There we go. So, application with lamvar1, with an application of lamvar2, with an application of lamvar3 and 4. Because it's not x1 and x2. It's not an application here and then an application here. This is the thing. It may look like it, but it's an application of these two with x2. So this is a thick application, and then this is applied afterwards, right? If we want it to not be like that, what we do is we add the brackets, right? And there we go. Now we've got application of lamvar 1 and 2, the application of 3 and 4. But the reason that works is because the brackets one is in here. So when this says it can't be an application, what it can be is an application in brackets, because when you see this goes to parse expression. This doesn't have a tick on the end, this just goes back to the original, right? So you see, so at the same time as actually, you know, making it work, it makes the brackets do what they were meant to do as well, which is beautiful, right? So I think that's pretty epic. This is how it's working, and it's working well. It did take a long time to get that working, like a long time, like it was like an hour or something, probably at least. I got very confused. I asked a bunch of people and their opinions, mostly just seemed like a bit of an idiot, but yeah, we did end up getting it. So, yes. Then moved on to macros. I couldn't record this because of the situation I was in at the time, but I didn't do too much, so we'll just go through that. It does what you would expect it to do, so if you remember back to the examples, I can just bring those up. I cannot just bring those up. Give me a sec. There we go. For the examples, you can see what they actually have is def, then in, and then the actual thing, right? So, what we need to do is this. So with the macros, what we're doing, we check for def, we check for the space, we check for the name of the macro, we check for an equals. I started using token and space instead of char and stuff because it works nicer. thrown a couple of them in up here, as you can see, but it doesn't actually change the code. It just means that it's more flexible with spacing. Then we check for the expression, and then we check for in, and then we return. Right? So, simple. Yeah. There we go. Then to pass all the macros, we just call that recursively. Right? We do it many times. Many, remember, includes 0, so you could have 0 macros and you would return an empty list, but that is still fine, because obviously in the example we do sometimes have that. So that's fine. Now all we need to do is put them together. We need to do it with the just, we need to do it with the maybe, the nothing, you know, all of that, and then we need to check that these error cases work, obviously, because at the moment things like this, pretty sure that's going to pass. Yeah. I'm not actually sure what's wrong with this one. I did figure it out at one point, but I've forgotten, so that's great. The other ones are pretty obvious. So this one will probably fail anyway, because it's randomly got brackets here. I'm assuming it will. I mean, no, we can't check it now because it's not put together. But I'm pretty sure that one will fail anyway. This one, repeated macro definition. That one it will pass. So we'll need to stop that from happening. And then this one also will pass. I'll need to figure out that. So yeah, there we go. All good. There's also a couple of other things we need to check. Up here. Yeah, there's a couple of things I believe we're meant to be failing on. So yeah, we'll need to add stuff like that for error checking. But for now, let's just shove it together and see if we can get it doing something, right? Which shouldn't be too difficult at all. Because all we need to do is something like this. Pass macros. And then here, pass expression. I believe this actually should work, so let's see, I guess. So now we want to return, I believe, we want to return just. What we're returning, a maybe lamb macro expression. So let's just check we know exactly what format that's going in. Right at the top here, lamb macro expression, lamb def. Then we want a list of this. So that's literally just the macros and then the expression. Okay. So we want lamb def. I'll put that in brackets as well, just to be sure. It should be just macros expression, I believe. So what I'm going to do, let's reload that and see if it works. Oh yeah, and by the way, here's the testing that I did on parse macro as well. You can see me giving it a couple of macros and it wasn't working, but once you get down to the bottom, you're giving it a couple of macros and it's, you know, working. So fantastic. Anyway, let's see if that one works. Because I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. Normally it doesn't. It sure is taking its time though, huh? My computer is being a bit slow, to be fair, at the moment. So it's probably got something to do with it, but I will sort that out soon enough. So let's see what its problem is. Couldn't match type, maybe lambda expression with lambda macro expression. You've got two maybes. Why have you got two maybes? What do you mean? It's an actual type of a maybe. Okay, so if I remove this, you're apparently going to be a maybe already. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Expected type maybe Lambda expression, actual type parser Lambda expression. What? Well, yeah, of course it's a parser Lambda expression. It's meant to be. Why would you expect a maybe? What? What? And then here, 158, expected type of maybe. Is it meant to be doing maybes the whole way up? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm thinking I'll go and add maybes to all the others, and then we'll see what's up, though, right? We'll see what's up. So give me a second. I'll do that, and if it works, I'll come back, and if not, I'll try and think of something else. Okay, so as I suspected, I did not have to do that at all, which is fantastic. I was actually just being a bit of an idiot. This, of course, is not actually a parser. So what I've done is I've created this one with the tick, which is a parser for a lambda macro expression. It does exactly the same as what the other one did, and it returns it, and that's all fine. And then what we've returned this to in is basically it's this here. It just parses with the dash, the tick rather, and the string. And then what I've returned is I've refined it a little bit. So it returns the head first, and then it shoves the just on the front. I've also made it so that if there's anything left, it'll return nothing. So if we pop over here, you can see now, we don't need to be running the parse at the front, we just go straight into parse lambda macro. We just hand it the string, and it puts just, and then just the whole thing. There's no extra like lists and commas and stuff extra around this. Well, there is quite literally, because this, but it is just a lambda, right? Whereas before, when we were using the parse up here, you know, we'd be getting like whatever's left afterwards, and the whole thing's in the list and whatever. Whereas now, we haven't. It's just a lambda, which is what we wanted. So in other words, it works, which is great. What we need to do now is, like I said, the error checking. So what I've put in so far is it checks if there's anything left. So this is this example here. You see where there's stuff left. So this here, this pass is fine, but because there's stuff left at the end that does not pass fine, it fails. It returns nothing. This one, however, does work because it just assumes that this is all in the same macro, which is why you get this here. So this is the next thing that I'm going to add. I'm going to make it check that the macro names here fit the macros that we've got in here. If you remember, we already have a function for this, because back in challenge 3, we have getMacroName, which returns a list of the macro names that we've got. So I think that's going to be quite a handy function to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy paste this. Again, I'm not sure how this is all going to be compiled together, so I'm just going to copy and paste this into here. I'm going to shove it right at the end here, get to macro name. And so then what I'm going to do is, because we have the whole thing basically, right? And then without the just, it's just this, right? So what I'm going to say is, okay, we can run get macro name on the first half of the head, which is just this, and then yeah. So let's start by adding another case. I feel like this should be the first case, actually. It does make sense for that to be the first case. Let's leave that at the top. So then what we can say, okay, we'll take first, again, and head lam macro. So that's the bit that we want. And then we want the list, right? So we're going inside the lambda here. Speaking of, I feel like maybe we should make another function for this. That would probably be easier. So check macros defined. We'll just call it that. So that is going to take a lam macro expression, and it's going to return a bool. So, and then what we can do is we've got we can why do I always forget what this is called? Yeah, well, we can check it. Right, so we'll have lamdef, and then in lamdef we will have x and x's. Let's have m and m's actually for macro and macros, and then here we'll have the expression, right? And this is what it should be passed. I'm just looking at the example that I've got over here just to see, well, you know, what the format is. Yeah, so we've got this. So let's start by testing it, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out this line just so it's not getting in the way. That didn't work though, huh? There we go. And then what I'm going to say is, for now, it can just return a... I don't know, what should it be returning? I guess a pair? With string and lam expression. I guess that's what it would be returning now. And then I'm just going to get it to print out m. Right, let's see if my mind is in the right place. Apparently not. So that's fun. Multiple signatures for get macro name. You are correct. We will call this get macro name 2. Okay. There we go. So now I want to do check. Come have a look. Check macros def, and I'm just going to feed it this, and it doesn't work. Ah, that's because of brackets though. Okay, that's fair. We'll feed it the same thing again, but this time with brackets. Brackets. There we go. So yes, we get f. So this is m. This is n, if you remember. Which is basically our macro, which is what I was hoping for. Yes. Is this actually what we want though? Now I think about it. What we're trying to do is check if this is in the list of these. Right? So if we do get macro name, we need to pass it all the macros. So I'm thinking we don't really need this. This can just be macros, can't it? And then we pass macros to this. What we need is all the lambda expressions. Right, we need to get a list of all the lambda expressions somehow. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that. I'm thinking we somehow need to traverse it, right? Are we going to need this kind of thing for the rest of it? Let me take a peek at the instructions. You know what? I'm gonna just ask someone on here quick. Let me see. Should it fail if you try to use macro that is not defined? Okay, and we'll leave that there for a bit and see if anyone comes back to it. For now, I think let's just try and do the stuff it says in the instructions first. So, e.g. repeated macro definitions. If you've tried to define the same macro twice, that's a no-no. So we can rehash this function that we've got here to do that, to be honest. Check, we'll put duped. Checked duped macros. There you go, that'll work. So what we'll do MMs again. So now we'll say we'll make it recursive. Check shoot macros where you are given a lambda with empty expression equals true, right? And then we can say with m I know, we'll have we'll put this again here. When you've only got one, it's true as well. And then if you've got M1 and M2, then return. Oh yeah, this needs to be a bool now. Return M1 is not equal to, actually. We should probably do is not equal to that one, I believe. I can't remember which direction it goes. I can test this just in here though, because I can just type like 1 is not equal to. True, there we go. Fantastic. So yeah, that's the right direction to be doing it in. And then we'll do with an and. Check duped macros. And feed it lambda m2 m's expression. You see, we've taken one of these off, right? And then it should be anding them all together. I'm going to bracket this all up just in case, and then let's run it. Nope, let's not run it. Should have 2 arguments, but has been given 1. I think this needs bugs. Okay. Yep, there we go. So now let's see if it works. Check duped macros. I'm going to feed it.
But Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and
okay. Right, now we're going to feed it. We need to feed it this. The definitions of the macros, right? Yeah. I believe. No. Are you actually do we feed it the whole thing? Okay, sure. Let's feed it the whole thing then. Honestly, I can't remember what I actually made it do. Oh, we've already got it running up there, huh? Okay, okay then. Let's just run this then. Check my. Oh yeah, of course, because I renamed it. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Check duped macros. True. Well, that's my bad. All the trues are meant to be falses. So yeah. And then this and should be an or, I guess. Yeah, that works fine. Still true. How are you even returning true? I guess that should be equals equals, shouldn't it? Yeah. I'm just having to redo the function. Okay, so this is false. Now I think I've accidentally made it so the entire thing has to be different rather than just the name. Yeah, see, that's false. If what I did was something like this, so we've got that, and then we have lam abs 1, lam var 1, like that. That's oh yeah, my bad. Like that. Yeah, see, that is true because it's exactly the same. But I want to check if just the name is the same. We want the right lines. So if we're checking for just the name, that's just the first half in the thing, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do that.
Wait, Mom, before you check out, do you have honey installed?
There we
What's
go.
honey?
Oh, no.
So let's see how it likes that one. Reload, that works. So that one should be true. This one should be true. And this one should be false. Fantastic. So that's working as intended. Which, funnily enough, that's what we were hoping for. I do like it when things work as intended. Right. So then, that's one of our two things. If I take a gander back over here, not repeated macro definition and macro body not closed. So in other words, what it says, no free variables in E1. You're not allowed any free variables here. I think what that's saying is every var that's in here has to be an abs as well, right? So it has to be put in an abs, which is going to be, to be honest, right, kind of difficult to figure out. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how we go about doing this. I guess you check the names of them against stuff, so we'll start with that, eh? We'll start with that. For now I'm going to delete this, because it turns out we're not using it for this thing. We're not using it for the other thing yet, because I don't know if we need to do the other thing yet. And Yeah, I'm not sure. What we can do though is we can put it in here. So if we run check duped macros on that thing, equals nothing. So now we can, yeah, I forgot to actually put that bit in here. Oh yeah, I didn't actually show you me doing that. I just put this line here, right. So now, if I just reload that quickly, we should be able to do parse. Actually, let's go back up to the parse Lambda expression that we were using before. If we go back through all this testing, there we go. So we can run something like this. That works fine. But then if I rename this to F, nothing. There you go. Perfect. Right? Exactly as intended. Okay, good. So now what we want to do is check if each macro is defined properly, basically. If it's got any free variables and it's a big no-no. See, what you could do is just say check that it's an abstraction, but that won't necessarily work because let's say, I'll just write this here, you had like def f x1 goes to x2. It's an abstraction, it looks pretty much the same as the one that's correct, but x2 is still a free variable because it's not x1, right? So it has to be able to tell the difference somehow. And personally, not exactly sure how to do that. What is helping us is the way that they're defined, because we have, I'll just nip up to the top, hello mouse, right, so we've got, where is it, lamabs int and number int. So theoretically you can compare these two ints and check that they're the same, right? But it's still not always going to work, because again, you could have something like this, say x2, and then you just say x1, x2. This is not equal to this is not equal to this, but neither of these are free variables because they are both in here. So kind of what we need to do is get a list of abs and then a list of vars and check that all of the vars are in the abs, right? If it's the other way around, if not all the abs are in the vars, then that's fine. It means it's pointless, but it does literally work. So that's, I guess, the kind of thing that we need to do. And I guess I'll try and write a function for one of them. I'll start by... Yeah, we really are going to need to traverse it somehow, aren't we? It might be useful later anyway, though, so it's not too bad. Okay, so in an expression, we will check get all abs. We need all the abs. We need to be ripped. We're going to take a lambda macro expression, and we're going to return a list of ints, actually. Actually, this should just take a lam expression, really, shouldn't it? Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. You're getting all... Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. And then we just run this on all of the macros. Because we don't actually need to run this in the actual thing for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe I should anyway. And it's not too difficult once I've written it, but anyway. So the lambda expression so yeah, I guess we really do just need to traverse it in this function, don't we? So yeah, okay, sure. If you pass it we'll start with the easy ones, I guess. If you pass it a lam macro, I believe this is the thing that'll work. So how do we say this? Yeah, this will work fine. We need it in brackets though. So if you pass it a lam macro, which is just name. Actually, this doesn't matter. Then it'll return nothing, right? The same as if you pass it a var, does nothing. If you pass it a lam app with the left side and the right side, right? Oh, but you're going to have all the brackets again. We're going to need to do something stupid like this, aren't we? I do feel like we're going to need to do something stupid like this again. Because this is basically just traversing it and printing them all out, isn't it? But in order to traverse it properly, you need to do the brackets. Or do you? Wait, no, you're passing it in the nice form. You totally don't need the brackets in this one. Oh yeah, that's a good point. It's in the nice form. So yeah, because lam app is just expression. So you have the left one and the right one. So this is just going to return get all abs of left and get all abs of right. I think that should work fine. And then if you pass it an abs, a lam abs, which will have integer x, and then something else, right? Then an expression. Then that's going to need to return x with get all abs expression. Right. This probably is not going to work. I already see one thing that I don't think will make it work, so let's see what happens. Yep. Expected type in. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, this is the problem. Because this is already a list of integers, and this is already a list of integers, and you're trying to add them together. I think what we need is this. So let's do that. Yep. Actually, the thing that I predicted happened, and the fix that I had also worked. Genius. So now let's feed it something. If you just pop over here, we can feed it like this, right? This will need to be a string, right? Oh no, it totally won't. This is going to need to be in an actual proper form. Okay. So something more like this. There you go. It just gives us a list 1. So let's make it a bit more complicated. Lam abs 2. And then in here we'll have a lam app of lam var 1, which actually will need brackets. and lam_var 2 brackets 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, believe this should work. There we go. That gets both of them. It gets both of them fine. Now here's the interesting one, the one that I don't think will work. If I do something like this, we'll have a lam app, lam abs 1, lam bar 2, right? That's going to need another bracket. Lam abs 2, lam var 1. You see the problem? Both of those are free variables, but pretty sure that it's not going to work if we just do it simply like this. So we're going to need to put them all together, right? So if I rename this to be get free, so it can do them all separately. Get free, so it should be getting all the free variables. Then I'm thinking when we find a variable, we add it to the list, and then... Now, how would we do this? Because if you've got an application, you're going to need to split it into two separate ones, right? So the thing, you're going to need to properly split it into two different ones then, aren't you? I think we do that separately. I think that's the way we do it. So we assume there are no lam apps here. Right. And then what we say, if we get a lam macro, I'm not even sure what this should be returning now, to be honest. I guess what we really wanted to return is a boolean, isn't it? No, but I think it should, I think, oh, you haven't been looking. It's fine, I haven't really done much. So, I'm thinking we're going to need to split this into two functions, that's the point. So, if we... Let me think. Let me think of a way to do this, and I'll come back in a minute. Alright, so this is what I came up with. Actually a lot simpler than I was expecting. We only have the one function. I did say we would probably need two. I managed to do it with only one, which is nice. I've added an extra argument, which you can see there. I've called it isFree. It returns a boolean, which is what I was hoping for, to be honest. But yeah, there you go. So let me just go through what it does. So this takes the lambda expression that you're trying to check, and this is the current variables that have been defined, you know, like by an abstraction, right? So then if you've got a macro, it's just true, you know, it doesn't affect anything, we're fine. If you've got a variable, you just check if the variable is in the defined variables, you know, in the instructions. If it's not in them, return true for it's free. And if it is in them, then return false, you're all good. If you get an abstraction, then we recurse, we give it the expression in the abstraction, and you add the variable from the abstraction to the list, because it's now been defined. And if you've got an application with two expressions, then you just do an OR. Is this one free, or is this one free? If either of them have a free statement, then try. And you can see what this kind of does here. So I've done a bit of testing with this. So with the old ones that I was doing, with just like lamabs, lambar. So that's fine. So you've defined 1 and 3, then you've asked for 2. Yeah, 2 is free. If you've defined 1 and 3, and then you ask for 2 and 1, you see 2 is free, but 1 isn't. But it put false. Oh yeah, this is after I compiled it. Yeah, my bad. But you see it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I fixed it. That was an error, but it fixed it. So here you're asking for 3 and 2. 3 is defined. 2 is not. Therefore, 2 is free. The whole thing counts, right? Whereas here you're asking for 2 and 2, 3. If you're asking for 3 and 1, well, both of them have been defined, so you're fine. And if you swap them around, also fine. Then if you do like an application, you've got lamabs 1 with lamvar 2 and lamabs 2 with lamvar 1. This is the backwards example that I tried to do earlier. It checks. It does work with that. So these are both free. Even though lamvar 2 has been defined here and lamvar 1 has been defined here, they are both free, so yeah. Here, this one's not free, but this one still is, so still true. And here, neither of them are free because it's all good, so you get false. I also just checked if you just shove it a variable, then that does count as true as well. So, in other words, we're all good. Is free works wonderfully. So what I can do is I can just add that to here, right? So if I just go on here, add an extra case. Now I need to check everything, basically, right? Now, it says in the instructions, macros are only defined with closed terms, right? It doesn't say whether the expression you're using has to be closed, and I'm pretty sure it does not. If you come and look at this, you can see, for example, with this one, you've got def f is this, def f is this in x1. Now, this is not closed, therefore it's just x1, right? But it is returning nothing because of the repeated macro definition, not because of this, right? So I'm pretty sure even if this was renamed to G, this is still this is not closed, but I'm pretty sure it would return. It's a bit of a weird one, to be honest. But the thing is, if you look at all these other examples, these are all closed, so it does make me wonder, doesn't it? So what I'll probably do is I'll just ask about that again. Yeah. I'll probably just ask about it and see what's up. Something will be up. But for now, let's check all the macro definitions, right, to make sure they're all closed. So macro definitions. Check the two macros if you remember. We've got here. And how we did that, we just feed it the whole thing, right? And then it just checks with this. We does it with pattern matching. That's the name of it. Big brain. So what I'm going to do is I'm again write another function. So check closed macros, which is going to take a lambda macro expression. It's going to return bool, and then what we can do is we can say lamdef. If you pass it nothing, an expression, then it's fine. It's oh, if you're checking if it's closed, yeah, it's closed. You're fine. Check closed macros, lamdef, and then we can have here macros with the expression again, and that's going to equal macro second of macro, because remember macro is the name of the macro and then the expression. So we're going to take second macro, run that is free, second of macro, and then pass it the empty, and then I'm going to need to not this to make it work nicely with checking if it's closed, right? So then I can run here, oh dear, check closed macros on the same thing as this, right? First head of macro. Now, if it is closed, then you're good. If it's not closed, yeah, I'm gonna have a bunch of knots here. I'm actually gonna change this, because then I can just have it like this. Sure. I mean, it doesn't fit quite as nicely, but it does. It means I don't have to have a bunch of random knots. So then let me reload that quickly. That compiles fine. So now what I can do is I can shove in it something like this, and I believe it should return nothing. Parse lam macro that nothing. There you go. See, whereas if I do and actually define it first, it works fine. So that's wonderful. But then also, if I do something like this, there's still nothing. And then what I can do as well, I could have before this def g equals x3, which goes to x3 in. So that first one is closed, that one's fine. Second one is not. Aha! See, here we have the problem. Yes, because I didn't make it recursive. So we've got the is free, which is great, and it checks the first one, but then I need to do and check closed macros, brackets, lamdef at the keyboard, lamdef m's expression. There we go. So now if I reload, that works. And now if we do this one, it should come with nothing. It did not. Eek. If we remove this, it's totally going to come up with nothing though, isn't it? Oh damn, okay, it didn't. What's wrong with it? Maybe it's meant to be an or, not an and. Let me change that to an or, see if that makes any difference. That's nothing, and then the bigger one, also nothing. There we go, that's more like it. Yeah, it's meant to be an or, not an and. So the problem was that it was getting false on this. Yeah, so even if this is true, then it would get false on this. It would return false overall, and then this would be fine. So this would be false and it wouldn't get to nothing. So yeah, we needed the or instead of the and. That's fine. So yeah, that works well. Now, let me go check to see if anyone has answered my quick question. Let's go see, where is it? No one answered my question. Okay, so I'm gonna have instead a look at the examples and such, see if I can figure out any more error checking that I need to add in, and then I'll try add it. Alright, well, I've done some further fiddling with this now, and I found exactly one thing wrong with it, in that if you put something really stupid that like doesn't even nearly pass, then obviously this is going to come up with an empty list at the start, and then when you try and run head it'll come up with an error. So I've just put a little case at the top there. If it does come up with an empty list, just put nothing. And other than that, I could not find anything else wrong with it, to be honest. I did have a look at the examples again, and I discovered this, which I hadn't noticed before. This obviously is an undefined macro because there's no defined macros and you're trying to use one, and the fact that this is meant to pass shows that clearly using undefined macros is fine. So despite the fact that no one appears to have answered my question, it seems the instructions did, so I guess I just needed to pay close attention to them. At any rate, these I put all the tests through. These all returned nothing, and these all returned the thing that they were meant to return. So it looks to me like it's working, you know, as intended, which is great. I've done a bit of testing myself, and it looks fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There probably is, and I'll probably discover things wrong with it in the future. I will periodically go back and change stuff, most likely, as I believe I will be doing with this as well. There was one thing that I did change in this, although I can't remember what it was now, and I think I actually did put it back when I realised that it actually wasn't helping me. So that was fun. But yeah, this one really did take a long time. The hardest one so far for sure, because I hate parsers, basically, I think is the explanation here. So that's fantastic. We managed to not use parsers as much in this last bit though, didn't we? This was all like proper Haskell at least. Proper Haskell is still obnoxious, but at least it's not as bad as this parser mess that we were doing up here. So yeah, we do have it now. The most annoying bit certainly was, where is it, this thing, where we was adding the tick onto here and doing all this. Oh, it took me so long to figure that out. I was really not happy. As you can see though, there is Challenge 5 next. Challenge 5 a lot of people have said is easy, a lot of people have said it's hard, so I guess we'll find out. But I will leave that for the next one. So in the meantime, I guess wait a day, and for me I'll probably start it later. Alright, bye!